All right. Well, welcome back. Session 29, or Session 3 of Across the Atlantic. Stranger times ahead. We are rejoining our investigators who are on a train heading down towards New York City to catch a boat to across the sea, Atlantic, to England, to deliver a mysterious package of a unusual artifact that's sealed away inside a crate. They do not have the keys to at the moment. And they know that they should not touch this artifact, that it has strange and unusual powers. But what exactly those are and how they might manifest will stand to be seen. In terms of the story so far, we have Mr. Brady, Miss Baker, Mr. Wright, Mr. Watts, and our newly joined Mr. Draper. In the last game, a few things happened of note. Nora, during her time off, acquired a lamp of some kind of magical origin, and also a pendant that had the letters. What were the letters? Some letters described on it. I assume you have no letters. SK, that sounds right. Mr. Watts acquired a strange golden egg that he purchased at great expense from Mr. Wick's Emporium of interesting artifacts.
I do want to go back on that, by the way. And like during that time, you said to like us what you're going to be doing in prep and all that stuff. I would have been like having that with me the entire time, sleeping with it, everything, like not letting it out of my sights. We can say that we bought that on my last day before we went on this trip, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. I assumed it was probably within like a few days before you would be leaving, was because you'd been back in Abner Wick's shop.
Let's say it was the day of we left. It was my birthday present.
Yes, because I have specific plans for this, and I chose not to try and do those retroactively. But you said something very specific that was very important, and I'm not going to tell you what until we get there. Sorry. So, Mr. Draper has a backstory, of course, as we've said, in terms of having an experience of another strange artifact of similar material to the one that you were carrying, that left his childhood best friend basically insensate to the world. I interestingly got like 2/3 of the way through writing that backstory, and I just need to finesse it a little bit, and so we'll come back to that. That was something I did not quite get time for today. Very, very close to done that, though. Other notable events that we should recap. Watts believes he is going to New York for his birthday because he's trying to come across the ocean and has, at this point, declined the trip. But lets you know that he will be press ganged into being brought along. Does it? Interesting background. Does anybody know where the phrase "press gang" comes from?
Where does it come from?
Sorry, it's just an interesting. This is literally going back to like the 17th and 18th century. That like the British Navy needed more people, and they would straight up just like mug poor people in the port, knock them out, and just like they'd wake up on a ship and they're like, "Surprise! You're in the Navy."
Well,
So
Yeah, I've heard of that too. It's like if you find a queen's coin or king's coin in your tankard when you're drinking, you are constricted to the military, and that's why with the metal tankards you'd have a glass bottom, so you could look to see if there's a coin in that drink, and if you finish that drink,
and then the fact that they had a little lid was to stop you being like poisoned, so you'd get like knocked out.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that had to live in like the 17th century. Anyway, sorry. Mr. Wright found out some interesting information about an unusual group that had been interested in their previous scenario. And finally, Mr. Brady had spent some time with Watts, assisting him upon his various endeavors in the time off. and looked into some of the various happenings. I think that's more or less the important stuff that's happened so far. Is there anything I missed for recap that you'd like to bring up?
I don't know if we're ready to talk about it, but some friends were doing me favors talking to my aunt about items.
Oh yes, that I also have on my list here, where I was starting to flesh that out and realized I was running out of time and needed to just plan what's happening in the next game.
Cool. We can talk about that when we're on the boat.
Yes. Going back to the theme of like, I did a lot of preparation and still didn't get enough preparation done. Anyway, so we rejoin our investigators as they are upon this train. And you had just had a bit of a run-in with somebody who had bumped into, I believe, Mr. Draper, and nothing actually specifically happened. There were some talk, obviously, sort of out of character as to whether he particularly was trying to frisk you and possibly steal something off of you, but since nothing happened, nothing happened. There's another unusual person that Nora, I believe, spotted on the train. And otherwise, we will go to Mr. Wright to kick this off today. Mr. Wright, you are trundling along. Obviously, today is Friday, February 2nd, 1923. It's clear skies, but very cold. Snow blanketing the countryside as you guys are traveling southwest towards New York City. You're maybe another hour or two out, soon to approach the town of Bridgeport, where there's a station there that the train will be stopping at, planning to drop off and, of course, pick up passengers. A sudden wind batters the side of the train, shaking the cars and sending snow whipping about outside. The inside of the car gradually darkens as the snow covers the sides. Further and further, it goes dark, and the rhythmic sound of the tracks somehow fades. You look around and realize that all the other passengers in the car, including your companions, seem frozen in place. What do you do?
Oh boy. Well, the first instinct is to the typical kind of like pinch yourself in the arm, kind of stare or look around the room, wave your hand in front of the closest person's face. Any reaction?
No reaction. Your senses seem almost muted. You feel as if it's almost a somewhat dreamlike state, but you feel coherent. But your movements are sluggish, and the area around you, your sounds and feelings and other senses, all seem somewhat dead. There's a twilight that fills the room. It's not completely dark, obviously, but you are, feel as if it's difficult to see.
Can I hear anything?
It seems like there's still some sounds from the train that are seeping through. But as you're trying to pay attention to your surroundings, you notice that the small artifact that you keep in your pocket and kept by your side is thrumming deeply and starting to become hot. It's reacting far more strongly than ever before to something in your vicinity.
I would instinctively start to reach for the object in my pocket. Stop, hesitate, reach in and grab a cigarette and light up instead. And then mumble to myself, this is new.
At the end of the cigarette, as you light it, glows brilliantly red. You feel the nicotine entering your lungs and seeping into your bloodstream, sharpening your senses briefly. It's something to focus on that clears your mind slightly. You continue to feel the thrumming and heat of the object in your pocket.
Take a few drags and then take a deep breath and then reach and see if check in with the object.
Pulling it from your pulling it from your pocket and looking at it, you can feel the heat upon your hand. It almost seems like it's being pulled downwards towards the crate that is nearby, sitting underneath by Roland's feet, I believe.
So it's me, Roland, and Benjamin.
Yes, I believe Nora was already in the other car, and I was already in the other car for food, and that Mr. Watts is in the other farther car the other direction.
How many other passengers are there in this cart?
It's a busy train. While not every seat is filled, there is a couple dozen people that fill the majority of the seats, who all stand still like stone statues.
I bring the object close to the um, the artifact. Is there an additional reaction to it as it gets closer?
It pulses a little bit more strongly and almost seems to imperceptibly glow in your hands. You would not even call it necessarily like a true light, but more that it has an impression upon your senses. That there's some kind of energy from within that almost manifests to you as if it's laying up.
Not supposed to touch it. I touch the box. Is there anything abnormal about the carrying case itself?
Placing your hand on the case for the artifact that you are transporting, you experience what almost seems like a jolt of electricity. Suddenly, you find yourself in pitch blackness, complete darkness that presses in upon you. Something is observing you from somewhere within that darkness. Of this you are sure. As quickly as this feeling hits you, it passes. Suddenly, you are back in the train, and it's slowing to a stop in Bridgeport. Everything is normal once more around you, and you feel as if you've awakened from a dreamlike state. Sweat is and perspiration is dripping down your face. Give me a sanity roll.
Been a while. Sanity.
It's one of your main stats.
There you are. What?
Give me a 1d4. You lose 3 sanity. As you come to, you cry out and jump to your feet, knocking a glass of water from the table and spilling it across the ground in a clatter. Despite the noise of the train, many people around you look up and turn towards you.
So, how did this look from our perspective? Was he just like kind of like asleep or something?
Yeah, good question. I was about to get to that. As this happens, the rest of you, rolling back only a couple of minutes, if you were speaking with each other, you would have noticed that Mr. Wright suddenly went pale and gaunt, and his eyes, his pupils dilated, his vision not clearly focused on anything, as it slightly shifts from side to side, and he leans back in his seat.
I'll look over at Brady and be like, "Is your friend all right?"
Kind of just confused look on his face, and I'm not sure that I would have seen Wright actually look this way before, so I would say that I don't think that I've ever seen Wright this way. I'm not sure what's going on. And at this point, is he still there, or he's already like gone back to sit down, or?
Basically, I mean, after a short discussion while this was happening, would be the point at which, what seemed like a fairly long period for him, and that he was able to have a smoke, was actually only moments for you, only like basically maybe a minute or so.
Would this have looked similar to how Roland's friend reacted when touching the object originally?
Yeah, I would say sure. There would be not like 100%, but I would say that it would be not unreasonable for you to draw some similarities.
Yeah, I think just observationally, just if you were to, Benjamin would probably be pretty confused. Would probably just like stand by and just watch it happening, kind of not realizing what's going on.
Then when I come to, I drop my plate. Whenever I was eating, that's what made the noise. Oh, you're muted.
Apparently, my left alt and my right alt are different keys, according to Discord. Yeah, basically, I said glass, but like essentially, like whatever was on in your hands or on the little table in front of you.
Probably sipping on coffee.
Yeah, so you would have knocked that down and caused it to spill across the ground.
Take a second to reacquaint myself with my surroundings, and I'll apologize. Oh, sorry. How clumsy of me. And I'll pick it up quickly. Probably have a handkerchief, retrieve that, and wipe up what I can, at least off the fabric.
I'll ask, are you feeling all right?
This has been a long trip. I think I could use some air. And I stand up and walk to the. I assume are all the carriages connected? Do they have like a gap of air in between?
Yeah. Yeah, there would be a gap of air in between, and there's doors in between.
I'll head over to there. Side note: did I wake up with a cigarette in my hand?
You did not.
Interesting. I walk to that open area and light a fresh cigarette, I guess.
Your cigarette pack is one cigarette short.
Okay, so it did happen.
Creepy.
It did, but it didn't.
Must have smoked another cigarette at some point.
Yeah, I don't know how closely you keep track, but if you did keep track, it is one fewer. It's supposed to be obvious if it was a new pack or a nearly done pack, but in between, maybe not so much.
I just want him to have this confused look at this pack of cigarettes. Like, what is going on? Like, what are these cigarettes?
It's like, I swore I had one more.
These Lucky Strikes, they're name brand. They're more expensive than the regular stuff. Can't just be losing cigarettes like this. Ridiculous.
Do you smoke tailor-mades or do you smoke handfuls? I suppose would be the question. I assume because you had a pack of cigarettes, you smoke tailor-mades.
Tailor-mades, of course. It's a filthy casual. He'll come back after a couple minutes looking better, more himself. Do we have with a glance outside, do we have a guesstimate how much farther the train has to go?
Yeah, so you would have like obviously an actual train time schedule for which you are on time. There would be various announcements obviously as you go. You are now probably 2 hours from New York City. There's only a few more stops to make before you reach Pennsylvania Station, today known as Penn Station.
All right. How do the windows look compared to my vision?
Compared to your vision, there's a bit of blowy snow, but as much as you remember before, relatively clear skies. A bit of a wind that is blowing some snow around, but pretty much normal for what it's been a very cold winter.
Okay. Um, Plopping back down, I'll redirect the attention. So, Mr. Draper, if we're going to be traveling together for quite some time, we might as well get to know each other a little bit better. You're you work for you do jobs for forget his name.
Wick.
It's in my notes. You do jobs for Wick?
I have. He has promised information for my talents, as I'm sure he has for yours as well.
What exactly are your talents?
I'm a, if I do say so myself, a rather competent locksmith.
Interesting. Then, are you expecting to be dealing with locks on this trip?
Um,
What did
I think it would be funny if he realizes now he didn't ask for the keys. Like, well, he kind of like pats his coat. Seeing as how forgot to ask for the keys to this trunk here, that may be at least one lock we need to get into.
Did you
How
guys
convenient.
did you guys ever get replicas like Watts suggested when he walked away?
Replica what?
Replica cases. Watts suggested that you got replica cases made.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
We only got
That'd
it
be
like
handy.
just before getting on the train, so there wasn't really time.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
you saw the logbox though firsthand. About before we even joined the train. The previous meeting, the first meeting.
Yeah. It was in a container. So is this in a container, or?
You don't know because you haven't been able to get into it.
Well, I mean, is this the same container that?
It's not the same container.
Okay, so it's
it is a slightly larger container.
Psych, we've been carrying a decoy the whole time. We're the B team.
We could, while we're in New York, we have a couple days try to find one there, but
That's a good point.
back to the locks, the one we have. Yes, it slipped my mind asking for the keys.
I guess we'll get to see just how good you are with a lockpick. How much have you worked with Wick? He is quite the character.
That is definitely one way to characterize him. I've worked with him on and off for uh, 2 years, roughly.
Hmm. What do you have a sense of the fellow?
Trying to think how Roland would think of Wick.
A fine diner.
I feel like Roland doesn't like Wick, honestly, and is only working with him because of the information he thinks Wick has.
Yeah,
How
that makes sense.
how often does Wick employ you to unlock stuff?
How often Mike? How often would that be?
In terms of your backstory stuff, you said it was like you did occasional jobs for him. I would interpret that as being like maybe like 5 or 6 times a year. That he relied upon you for specific matters that were relatively sensitive and was not employing you on a consistent basis. But that it was well worth your time in terms of either the information that you got or the financial compensation or both.
I think Brady at this point would probably chime in and say, like, have you ever seen him eat at a table? Like, it's really disgusting. And
Would Roland have seen him eat at a table before?
Yeah, I would say that there's a good chance that you probably at some point were called into a meeting at the restaurant that he goes to and has a private room. So yes, it would be pretty likely you would have.
I have once or twice. I don't know how he eats the meat like that, but honestly, he keeps a lot of information close to the chest. He's just very hard to read.
Speaking of reading, I'm watching Draper closely this whole conversation. Kind of guesstimate like his feelings on Wick, that kind of thing.
If you guys want to do a contested roll, I suppose that's up to you guys from an RP perspective. Essentially, I guess it would be a contested like psychology roll or like psychology and deception or something.
Well, I'm not really trying to hide anything particular. I'm also haven't quite gauged how they feel about Wick either, so I'm kind of also trying to see how they feel about him before I.
Yeah, I mean, I guess basically you could say it's a contested psychology roll. To some extent as to whether he feels that he has particularly seen through and is confident that he knows. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. It's to some extent really just an RP choice on your guys' part as to whether you think that this would be how you would feel or not. Unless you're explicitly trying to hide something, I guess. You could do just a generic psychology rule to just sort of be like, how confident you feel. But like to some extent, that usually is not how that plays out. That it's more like if you're deliberately trying to hide something, then that will be the implication.
I would say for now he's trying to not give off how much he doesn't like Wick.
Yeah, well then I would say then that could be either contested psychology or like psychology versus I don't know what other.
Not good at fast talk.
Yeah, you're not really trying to fast talk it.
Let me see.
Also, quick question: were our rules for our downtime, that wasn't part of the campaign proper, was it?
No, that was in between.
It starts on this train.
Yeah, well, I guess I started with your meeting with Abner Wick.
I'll just do psychology. It's fine, I guess, if that's all right with you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like persuade, I guess.
Sure. Go with persuade. Fail. So I guess you'd get a hint that there is a bit of animosity when he's talking about Abner.
Interesting. Noted. So, are you if you've been working for Wick for a couple of years, I suppose that makes you a local, does it?
Yes, I was born and raised in Arkham.
got a lot of history.
It does. It does. Are you locals as well? Looking also to Brady.
I am, but my colleagues are not.
Yeah, I am from Maine, but I frequent this area quite often.
Um, you said you're. Hold on. I don't know if. I'll say. Well, you know my profession. So, what about the two of you? What profession are you two from?
Um, I I guess I would wait to hear you speak up, and if you didn't, I would go on. Or you prefer to wait for me to engage, or
I'm a journalist. I work for the local paper. Might have had an article or two from me over the last month or two.
I I think I do remember reading an article from you um, recently
I had
about.
a piece on the asylum as well as shady ties into the city from Atlantic City.
Yeah, I remember that asylum piece. I made me a little concerned. I have a friend in there.
Wright shows a little interest in this. What's how long's your friend been interned?
About 2 or 3 years.
Off the top of my head, can I think of any events in the last around that era, about 2 to 3 years, that sets off any alarms, anything that could be supernatural?
Uh, I feel like that would be either a library rule for whether you had particularly been doing research in that era or just straight up luck.
Hmm. He would spend some time in the library, but his work's more direct. He's usually talking to people rather than being nose in the book for the research. Well, I'll shoot luck, even though it's terrible. Makes more sense.
Yeah, because I don't think you have like a journalism skill.
No, it's kind of
You have a bunch of skills
loose
that
with
play
that
into
one.
the fact that you're a journalist.
Yeah, some kind of talking skill, uh, psychology.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically it would be luck as to whether you happen to run across it because it wasn't particularly widely published and a major story. Well, then, yeah, I'll say with that then you don't particularly remember this event.
They look confused and intrigued for a second. If it isn't too personal, how did your friend end up there?
Just one day she was fine, and then the next, not so fine. That's one of the things I'm after with Wick.
My friend here, he's quite the antiquarian. Former teacher too. If I remember correctly.
correct. I was a university professor, but now um, largely antiquarian and at times an investigator.
You know,
But
we haven't talked about your teaching. Which school did you teach at?
it would have been would have been. I actually did not think of a name. Out of character, did not think of a name for this university. Um, but he'll just look and he'll say, York Beach in Maine. Um, it's kind of it's a small school, but yeah, I was there for about 30 years and retired with my wife, and she had since passed away. And since then, I just try to keep busy. Um, being an antiquarian usually requires me to travel a lot, so um, I'm traveling quite often, um, and as of late, I've acquired a few friends along the way, and have been kind of just giving aid where I can.
Sorry to hear about your wife. I suppose these kinds of details we were quite busy in uh, our business a few months ago. It was quite the week.
Yeah, um, it is. Loss is always hard for anyone, but um, for me, it's best not to stew on it and to keep busy.
Those in your work, that's tends to be the way forward. What about you, Draper? Do you have anybody in your life?
Um, well, as seeing as we're probably gonna get to know each other anyway, my parents disappeared when I was young, and I was taken in by a family friend who was on in his years already, and he has since passed. Um, so no real family to speak of.
Wright looks surprised a little bit that he'd extend that information, but he also looks appreciative. It can be hard uh, not to have your family around.
I was very young. I have very few memories of my parents, and my foster father was a good man.
That's good to hear.
He's actually the one who taught me the skills I know today.
You're lucky. Many are not so fortunate in the system. How did you end up a locksmith?
Well, my foster father taught me the skill, and eventually it was that or be on the streets.
That's how it goes for most of us, isn't it? We learn our skills from our parents. Mine weren't too pleased with my choice of career, but they've come to respect it.
As long as it puts food on the table.
That it does.
During this conversation, I'm looking to see if I spot that guy that tried to frisk Roland.
Give me a spot hidden.
Okay.
You're fairly astute at looking around, but you do not see it. Last you recall, you heard him exit the car.
And then I guess I'll just at that point, once I notice he's not there, I'll just kind of look at Roland and ask, "Did you notice anything different about that guy whenever he accidentally bumped into you on his way through the cart?"
I didn't say I was checking at the time, but I feel like Roland would have, like, just kind of done a once-over on himself.
I thought you rolled a sleight of hand to counter him or something.
No, you rolled. I mean.
Oh no, you're right.
Brady rolled the sleight of hand to see if he.
That's right.
That's correct. Yep.
That's a good question.
I feel like Roland would have at least like just once the guy was out of sight, just kind of did a check of his personal belongings, see if anything was missing.
Yeah, so I mean, certainly if you checked yourself over, nothing was missing.
I didn't. I mean, with what we're dealing with, I would doubt that he had some ulterior motive, but I checked on my belongings and nothing was out of place.
Good. Yeah, from my perspective, it looked like it was more than just what initially met the eye. So we're definitely gonna have to stay vigilant.
Yeah. I'll try to remember his face.
I did get a good description of him as well, so I'll keep an eye as well.
Just how closer the seats packed is casual conversation. You can probably it'd be hard not to be heard by the seats in front and behind. Probably.
Yes, there. With the opposite side of it being that there's a general huddle in the train. There are various groups of people who are having discussions. So, like, somebody would have to be, relatively speaking, seated near you and going out of their way to overhear your conversation. Well, with that, we'll cut over to Mr. Watts and Miss Baker, who are in the other car. Miss Baker has returned with some delightful treats for you to drink and eat with Mr. Watts.
Absolutely. As I get back with some coffee and various, I don't know, baked goods or something for both of us, she'll also pull out the flask that she had mentioned and offer some.
Ah, Nora, you're back. Do you want to try some of these nuts that I'm eating?
Where exactly did you get them?
When I got the tamales, they're delicious.
Oh, well, sure. I got you some coffee and various baked goods if you want. And here's that flask if you're still interested. We can make the journey go a little faster.
Absolutely. Salted, unsalted, or caramel flavored, I guess. Like, these ones are very sweet. They're delicious.
Caramel flavored nuts. That
sounds
like something my aunt would absolutely despise. I will try those.
Here you go. I'm gonna hand over some of my nuts. I also, sorry, go on.
These nuts.
That's not what I was going for. Yeah, bonus points for Thomas. No.
And so the joke was created in 1923.
Yeah. Sorry, but no, they're delicious. And I also beat my solitaire time. 4 minutes 37 seconds has been beat.
Well, congratulations.
Another round of gin. Gin rummy.
Sure, why not? She'll pour a healthy whatever she has into her coffee.
So also halfway that you had because you already winked at me on where it was.
Yeah, as she pulls it out and feels how light it is, she gives you a sort of grin and tips a little into her glass and then her coffee mug and then like offers it to you.
Yeah, for sure. Taken already.
Well, some time has certainly passed as you've been going back and forth. You're not far from New York. Do you guys have any last orders of business as far as anything you want to look at on the train or anybody you want to try and speak to or each other?
Yeah. Who's winning Gin Rummy?
Roll of luck.
Oh, there you go.
Contested luck roll.
I might have accidentally did read education. Sorry.
Well, what's your luck score?
It's 55, but I rolled 64, so Nora's winning.
There you go. So you.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I would just want to keep an eye out for that guy who bumped into me earlier. See if I see him again. Just kind of try to figure out where he is in the train.
So there's various times where there's a few more stops that the train stops and releases and picks up passengers. You do take a look around, obviously keep a sharp eye out, and you do not see him again.
Okay. Kind of like make a walk to the food cart.
Sure.
And then come back.
I will say, without even a spot hidden roll, you do see him sitting in the next train before the dining cart, and he seems to deliberately ignore you as you go by.
Okay. I guess I'll just pick up like some random pastries and another coffee or something, and come back. And I'll sit down and say, I spotted that man in the car in front. Not sure what we can do about it now, but at least we know where he is.
So the snow-covered countryside gradually makes way to a more urban area as you travel into New York City proper. The train trundles across the bridge. Which bridge? I don't know New York geography well enough. Trundles across a bridge and into Manhattan, making its way slowly through the core of the city. It finally starts to enter Penn Station. As you enter the station, you see quite a hubbub of people moving to and fro, various trains loading and unloading both people, goods, and animals. Obviously, horses are still used quite significantly as a way of getting around town and moving items. So there are various horses being used on carts, some even being unloaded from trains. The train that you are on slowly grinds to a stop, letting out a whistle. And you hear the conductor call out, "Final stop, Penn Station. Everybody off."
Well, I suppose this is us.
I would, I guess I would say when I noticed we were getting close, I'll say we should probably just let everyone else off first. Just so we're last off with this. And he kind of like kicks the case.
Just before, dang, Brady has like, I guess Brady will just kind of like signal to the other two, maybe for Wright to maybe assist Roland during this time, and he would like to get up and try and walk to the cart ahead, if that's possible.
So sorry, the two of you are carrying the box?
Yeah, it was me and Roland, and I guess Mr. Wright at this point would be able to or would want to assist.
It'd be a little bit weird for three of you to try and carry the box. It's not that big. It's as I said, it's slightly too large to be easy to carry for one person, but it's carryable. Two people makes it fairly easy. It's not gigantic though.
I think he was saying he wanted to go ahead.
I just wanted to go ahead solo to potentially have a run-in with this fella in secret.
Oh, sorry. So you're saying you're not taking the box with you? You're going ahead solo?
Yes, I'm going solo without the box. Sorry.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, they're just like you're running. Okay, that makes more sense.
Sorry, yeah, that's
okay.
what I wanted.
I don't know. Just in my head, I was just imagining. I had so focused on you carrying the box. Okay, never mind. Rolling back. Okay, so as you pull into the station, you make your way back in the cars. Give me, I guess, a spot hidden roll to see the fellow.
Okay. Please work. Oh my god, sweet.
Nice.
As you enter the next car down, being told where to find him, you look down the car and the seat is empty. You see down at the far end, as while the train has not yet come to a stop, he has made his way to the back and jumps off the train, which is going relatively slowly now. It's like it's not like it's a crazy feat, but like he definitely got up and made his way off the train sooner rather than later, not waiting for it to come to a complete stop.
I'm gonna try to follow this man and get close enough to potentially pickpocket him. But scenario would play out to where I would obviously just bump into the guy just slightly, ever so slightly, if he would even notice at all. If it's possible to even catch up.
Alrighty, so I guess you are going to head off after him. Let's put a pin in that for now. I guess for now, give me. I guess give me a dexterity roll.
Yeah, not my finest. We'll see.
All right, so we'll just use that as a starting point.
That's not bad. That's
Yeah.
Dexterity.
Slightly worse than 50-50. Where's the move speed?
It's on combat, isn't it?
Yeah, movement rate.
For
Yeah, movement rate.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, movement rate. Cool. Okay, so we'll switch to first Nora and Watts, or second Nora and Watts. Are you making your way off of the train post haste, or are you dilly dallying?
I figure Nora would just kind of encourage Watts off the train and head towards getting, I guess, a cab or something to go to whatever touristy thing he has decided that he wants to go see, since he did so much research.
1923. Yeah, so there's the fine store of. Remember, I was talking about what was it? Not what was the name of the Barney's? Was it Barney's?
Yeah, it sounds
I think
right.
that's it.
Yeah. I want to go Barney's. There's a couple of speakeasies that I've heard of in New York there's speakeasies everywhere in New York. But does it make sense that we are coming off the train later to allow the others to get off first?
Yeah, I was going to say, basically, I would assume Nora's plan would be either to get off quickly to get you out of there before they get off with the thing, or to basically kind of like take her sweet time so that they get a head start.
Yeah, I'd just kind of play it casually and like keep an eye out for them. Did not try and be like the first people off the train, but also not dilly dally too long. And just kind of be part of the crowd, meandering.
I think what I wanted to do was have us, at least with the case, be like one of the last people off the train.
Oh, okay. If you probably guys arranged that already.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you presumably would have had some coordination in this regard.
So yeah, I probably made a couple of friends on the train to get to say goodbye to my friends Ollie, Catherine, Kim, and then we head off. Like Nora's probably having a hard time to get me off the train quickly, but
All the people you
I've
chatted with on the way.
yeah, I'm just like overly friendly, forgetting about everything that's ever happened. I'm with my friend. It's my birthday coming up. We're here in New York now. We're going to see Barney's. I don't know when was the Empire State constructed.
Good question. 1930. It has not been put up yet.
It started though.
It would have taken a while to construct.
Yeah.
The big old building.
So
Yeah,
the Woolworth building was the biggest building in 1920. It was 762 feet tall.
yeah.
Going
If
to see
anything,
that.
Nora is like more easygoing than usual, as she's trying not to be like too suspicious either way. So she's just like, "Yeah, chat with your friends. We'll get going soon."
Yeah, like this is the side of Thomas you've never seen before. He is happy, relaxed, not focused on the crazy stuff that you've seen him be focused on. It's Thomas. This is him.
She has a momentary sensation of guilt as to what she's about to drag him into, but it only lasts a second.
And I'm into whatever Nora tells me to do and where to go. That's it. That's Thomas.
All right, so each of you descends in your respective three groups with obviously Brady tailing this fellow that he has put his eyes upon. Watts and Baker are on their way to see the sights of New York, and then Mr. Draper and Mr. Wright are keeping close eye on this box that they are carrying between them. You descend upon the platform at your own respective times, not too long apart from each other. There is many people moving about within Penn Station. A sea of people moving across the platforms and between trains. As you make your way towards the exit, a loud bang is heard behind you. The crowd suddenly surges in fright. And we're going to go to. Oh, geez. So this ends up being a kind of like, so it's not strictly speaking actually a chase, because you are not specifically being chased by something, but like more or less you need to essentially work your way through the gauntlet of what is currently unfolding, the chaos of Penn Station. I guess we'll put Brady in the middle. Draper and Wright can be on the side, and Watts and Baker can be on the top.
I just need a
and
pee real quick.
Sure. If you go pee real quick, we'll take 5 minutes, and I'm going to get a drink as well.
Okay.
Before we jump into our chase scene.
I was gonna say, do we want to go live and then have that discussion again?
We're live.
Oh, we're live.
No,
Okay,
he's just like, "Oh, fireworks, nice touch," and she's like, "Oh,
yeah, Nora.
Yep.
Nora, you got me fireworks for my birthday to announce my arrival in New York.
Well, of course, these things need to be celebrated appropriately.
I'm just looking around for
Now let's
the
leave.
bright sparks and explosions.
It might be a little bright, I suppose, to get the full effect.
Oh, it's the thought that counts there, Nora. It's like, this is so appreciated. Thank you. Guys, why are you running?
She'll just like grab his arm and steer him towards a cab and be like, "Well, let's get to Barney's or whatever it's called
The
and
bunnies.
see about these deals."
But the fireworks. And I'm just following Nora as I'm looking back, curious about what I see. I'm not looking for suspicious people, just looking in the sky. That's all. Well, not the sky, but like just looking up, see what I can see from where the explosion came from. That's what Thomas is doing whilst being dragged by Nora.
Nora is paying absolutely no attention and just like, "Where's the nearest cab? Oh my god, get out of here."
All right, so I'm checking what all your movement rates are. Why is this? For some reason, Brady's thing won't open. Oh, there we go.
I can see one. Yeah.
Okay, 7 is the lowest. So 7 is right. Yeah, there's the word first. Right and Roland.
At least we're the same because we're carrying something together.
You'd kind of be tied to the lower number anyways.
Yeah.
Then Brady and Baker. This is more intense than I thought it was going to be.
I feel like I'm riding my
Then-
motorcycle and I'm about to cut someone off and it's going to destroy them.
Okay, so in a single turn, so I guess, shoot, yeah, let's get a fucking turn tracker up. Effing turn tracker. Oh, actually, let's just go. We'll go in order of the groups from the top down. So basically, in a single turn, Draper and Wright, you can move one position. Brady, you can move 2 positions. Baker and Watts, you can move 2 positions, unless Watts, you're going to just like ditch her and like get out of there real fast.
No, I feel like Watts should be at a 1 because he's distracted by looking at the fireworks and Nora has to drag him.
You don't have to.
No,
this
but
is
I don't
nice.
sense danger right now.
Well, so there's been a big loud bang, and the crowd is suddenly trying to get out as fast as possible, and you're caught up.
I'll feed off Nora's energy, so put me at her energy. I will know that I'm a 3, but I'll be at Nora's energy right now. I'll run with her. There's 0 way I'll be leaving Nora because we're on my birthday trip.
Okay,
I
so
have the ability. I know.
So a little bit of a reminder in terms of chase scenes. Like I said, while you are not chasing something down presently, you will potentially encounter within your round some kind of thing that gets in your way, and that basically to get by it, you may have to use a skill. And so essentially, in terms of hazards, there are both hazards that are potentially can be like bypassed, but it will take an extra movement action, or you can use your skill to get by it, as well as there being hazards that like require you to use a skill to get by it. The example, of course, being that's like, oh, there's a puddle in front of you that causes you to slip, and you're like, I jump over it. And it's like, okay, well, if you fail, like you slip, but you still get by it. And maybe you'll like take some damage or whatever, but like it'll take up some movement. Whereas if it's like, I want to get by a locked door, then it's like, well, you're going to have to break that door down successfully or pick it or something like that. Otherwise, you don't get by. Like, you just simply can't. So that's kind of the breakdown between the 2 kinds of hazards that you'll encounter in Chase. But so yeah, this we'll do a little bit differently. We'll do it as groups. So we'll start with Baker and Watts. You are just here to see the sights right now. How do you react to this sudden surge of movement?
Yeah, so Baker's just trying to steer Watts towards like the nearest busy like street so we can try and catch a cab away from the place without instilling any kind of like urgency or panic in him. She's still trying to keep everything very like, this is all fun and celebrational and everything's cool and we're just catching a cab to get away from the hectic train station.
I'm going along. I'm a little bit more like I'm like on 1 foot. I'm on 1 foot being dragged by Nora while I'm hopping to see what's over where the noise was coming from. That's what's happening right now.
So peering backwards down the platform as you follow Nora, you carefully go with the surge of the crowd while taking a look. You give me a spot hidden check to see whether you can see what actually happened.
I'm looking not for people or whatever it is. Yeah, I guess I am looking for whatever it is. My sheet is stuck on combat, by the way.
That's weird.
I can't come off it. Oh, I can. I lied. I found it. Spot hidden.
The crowd is difficult to see through, and you. Oh, weird. You set to extreme difficulty.
Yeah, that's my bad. I just clicked a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry.
No, I assume that probably
Uh,
was successful.
Yeah, that was definitely successful. My spot hidden regular is somewhere on this page, 68. So I got 29.
Okay. Well, so with a hard success as opposed to an extreme fail, you do manage to peer down the length of the platform. There's no chance of being able to see specifically what exactly is going on down there, but you do manage to spot out that it seems like there's some smoke that is billowing out of the caboose of the train car or of the train that you were on.
Well, Nora, it appears that your fireworks aren't quite there yet, but the engine blew on our train. How fortunate are we that we're off the train and the engine just blew on the steam train?
It was a caboose.
That's very unusual, but perhaps they tried to light the fireworks inside. They are.
You call me fireworks? They should be staying watch. Yeah, as I'm still hopping along, being dragged by Nora.
Oh, they've clearly set them off incorrectly. We may as well be on our way before all this crowd steals all the cabs.
Oh, good idea. I think. What time did we arrive?
It's late afternoon.
Say 5 p.m.
Yeah, probably like 6.
Okay. I believe Barney's closes at like 6:30, 6:37. Maybe we should make haste that way.
An excellent suggestion. We'll take a look and then find somewhere to have some dinner.
Okay, I step ahead of Nora, and I'm now dragging Nora along with me to get a cab.
All right. Well, I'll say that you're not like trying to make a rush through the crowd, so you're moving one position, and you don't.
I'm trying to make a rush through the crowd to get a cab to beat the time of Barney's closing.
That'll be your next round. You took this round to have a discussion.
Yep, 100%.
All right, Mr. Brady, you are following your mark when suddenly this happens.
So I kind of have to choose, or I have.
You can choose whether you continue with the crowd or whether you continue to try and trail him. Is your primary choice right now, or potentially try and return to your friends.
I'm gonna try and trail him.
Alrighty, try to push your way through the crowds. You start to lose him among the people. I guess give me a. Either give me a dexterity to try and quickly move through the crowd, or give me a spot hidden to keep an eye on him.
My eyesight is impeccable.
You're able to catch a glimpse of his distinctive black cap that is moving through the crowd ahead of you, and you manage to push your way in between people. So you move 2 forward as he's also making a fast move through the crowd. Mr. Draper and Mr. Wright, with your appropriate only ability to move 1, you have the crate in tow. How do you react?
So there's just a loud bang coming from one of the cars behind us.
That's right, yes. Way down at the end of the train, the caboose. The exit is ahead towards the front of the train. The train pulled in forwards into the station.
I think his Wright's curiosity gets the better of him, typically running towards the sound of mishaps, mayhem, whatever. He'd probably put a hand in his jacket around where he's carrying his pistol and walk to the rear of the train and see what he can see in the car behind us.
I thought you were helping me carry the thing.
It is carryable with one person.
It is, just with difficulty.
How many people are left in the cart?
There were a few stragglers still waiting to exit the train into the crowd.
And none of them are the person that they pointed out is the guy that ran into Draper earlier.
Nope.
Damn. And Brady already took off before the bang.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He probably would have he'd have the impulse to see what's going on and then think twice. We need to get back together with Brady and turn back around after a couple steps and help move the case.
That's a good idea. I think we should try to meet up somewhere. But let's get out of here. I don't want to stay behind and see what caused that.
Hope nobody's hurt.
So are you trying to hold your place in the crowd while you wait for him to catch up with you since he went down the train?
Well, he said he only went like 2 steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, he went farther back in the train to go and look for this guy, and he exited to follow him. So, like, you don't know exactly where he is, but you would surmise that he was following this fellow, and that the crowd then is going the other direction. So, like, if Brady's following him, he's going that way, then he would be coming back towards you where you would be exiting the train.
Gotcha.
One of these places where having a battle map would be useful, but finding battle maps of Penn Station in 1920 is difficult.
Did we have like hotel accommodations?
You have not planned specifically hotel accommodations.
Okay.
I would say, though, it's certainly possible you might have discussed where you were planning to stay.
I didn't know if that was included in what Wick was supplying.
No, he had just given you your tickets to the train and your tickets across the ocean.
Okay.
So you're saying Brady went towards the sound that we just heard the bang from?
Yes, I suppose to make it more accurate in terms of where everybody was on the train, you guys would probably actually kind of be like here already. Brady would be in this period of time probably catching up with you.
Okay. Yeah. If Brady went back there and then we hear a loud bang in the direction he just went, would definitely be heading towards him instead of beelining away.
If we had decided like on a hotel, I think Roland would leave, like go follow the crowd out of here, and just head to that hotel. Awkwardly carrying the case himself.
Yeah, I guess Wright will take a couple steps towards the cart where he went. He'll look back, see you starting to leave, and he'll say, Brady's back there. I have to check on him. I'll catch up with you as quickly as I can.
We'll meet at the hotel.
All right, Mr. Wright, to stand your ground against the crowd, give me, I guess, a strength roll or a dexterity roll, whichever you think you can do better.
Dexterity would be better for me.
And I will say, Mr. Draper, you just continue forward. So, with a successful dexterity roll, give me a spot hidden to spot Brady within the throng of people.
Damn.
Brady, with your extreme success of spot hidden previously, I will say that you spot right, looking through the crowd as you're running forward. You would have roughly met him. So we'll go back to the top of the round. Nora Baker and Thomas Watts. You are continuing your way out of here?
Just trying to get a cab before all the other greedy people steal them all.
Yeah, and as she alerted me to the time and Barney's closing, let's say we arrived at what, 5? You said 5, 6, 6. Let's say the store's closing at 7. I'm now pulling Nora with me with my 3-speed.
So as you're trying to move with the crowd along one side, there is a porter with a large pillar of baggage that gets knocked off balance and falls in front of you. How do you get by?
We're gonna jump over it.
Alrighty. Give me a jump roll? I think that's the thing.
Dodge?
Dodge? No, I don't think there's a jump.
Is there? Oh, there is. All right, look at that.
Jump roll.
All right.
Ooh!
Who will jump?
Right above
It's
languages.
like right in the center of all the skills, like right in the middle. Oh no!
Come on, that's so good! Come on.
That might be worth some luck.
Yeah,
That might be a
you-
buckle. Just on a
Yes.
buckle. Yeah, I'm gonna spend 1 luck. 1
I
luck.
like it. As you're trying to surge through the crowd, this pile of baggage falls off the cart in front of you. Nora deftly leaps over them. Thomas, you go to try and also jump across, briefly slipping your foot as you tumble head over heels. You somehow, having had several drinks on the train, do a nice little roll and come back to your feet.
Okay, nice.
Amazing.
Meant that.
Mr. Brady, you have just spotted right through the crowd, but you were also tailing the person just ahead.
Um,
Oh, I think I have an icon for this guy. Yeah. Oh wait, the icon still says Oaks. What the fuck?
so how close am I again?
I mean, I guess more accurately, I guess he's kind of in between. He's probably like 10, 15 feet ahead of you in the crowd.
All right, I'm gonna try and get as close as I can to him, and just given the opportunity, I'm gonna try and like do my best to see if I can grab any kind of tangible object that's. I guess first instinct would be coat pocket. Inside coat pocket or something.
Alrighty. Oh, what's your movement and his movement?
Mine is 8.
Yeah, I think his is too.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Okay, with your movement being the same, to get in close to him, I'll say give me either a strength or a dexterity to cut through the crowd to get close to him. Otherwise, you're going to continue to tail him at the same speed.
Damn.
You're able to continue following, but you're close on his tail. But you are not yet able to catch up with him to be able to try and pickpocket him. Do you signal to right that you're coming, or do you leave from there?
If I can, I would look back towards him and I would be like, give me just a second.
Wright did not spot hidden very well at all.
Okay.
So he's going to have to try again to hopefully see you in the next round. Now it is the next round, so we will go to Wright first.
Yeah, I'm still scanning the crowd for Brady.
Yeah, give me another spot hidden. This time you see him as you see him look back towards you and signal with his hands before disappearing back into the throng just ahead, heading towards where Mr. Draper has gone.
Yeah, catching him, I'll start making my way his way in shadow, and I'll be looking for anybody that's following him too.
Alrighty. I guess in that same spot hidden, you do not particularly see anybody that is following him, but there's a lot of people moving in the crowd, so it would be difficult to know for sure. You know, who's following and who's not when everybody's moving in the same direction. Mr. Draper, you've got your baggage in tow.
Yeah, just charging forward, trying to get out of this mess.
All right. As you're moving forward, you have difficulty carrying this case, and we'll see you're not as far forward as they are. We're going to kind of like split the difference on this. You're moving slowly. Give me a strength check to continue holding on to this in the midst of this entire crowd, or dexterity, I guess. Really, could be either one. Are you able to deftly move between them, or are you able to simply hold them around?
Dex is a little better, so I'll go with that.
Great. With that, I will say you deftly move between the crowd forward, getting ahead to where you, if you're paying attention, might catch a glimpse of Miss Baker and Mr. Watts, who are just ahead of you. And with that, Mr. Baker and Mr. Watts, you're back up again. I say Mr. Baker or Miss Baker?
Dragonist, though. After my epic, intentional trick landing that I did. I'm still pulling her along to get to that Marnie's storing time. I have no idea how far it is away from the train station, but there's a hope that she gave me.
All right. I will say if you want to move more than two full positions, give me either a dexterity or both of you give me either a dexterity or a strength to be able to push through the crowd.
Yeah. More than two, you said? What can you move, Nora? Is two? I can move
Nora
three.
just like puts an elbow up and shoves her way through.
I'll give you a dex, but I'm not expecting it. There you go.
I did so well. So I'm gonna say that we'll say that with Nora's extreme success of strength, as you try to slip through the crowd, you start to stumble, but she grabs you bodily around the waist and simply pushes forward, dragging you along behind her.
You are gonna have the best birthday ever.
Nora takes the lead, and now she is pulling me.
Yes. And then we will go back to Mr. Brady, who is tailing the mysterious gentleman.
Do you want me to try to give another dex or strength roll to try and see if I can push through, or?
Yeah, basically that's what I wanted to see, whether you can catch up with them.
Okay.
All right. So as he is moving towards the next position, you successfully catch up with him. Give me a sleight of hand to be able to pickpocket him. Oof. No. 98. You go to try and jostle him, but just as that moment, the crowd around you surges to the side. as a horse breaks free of its leash, no, of its harness. The horse is threatening to cut between you and knock you down. How do you react?
You could push it. You could do it. You could risk it all.
Push the roll. Sleight of hand again to be able to do you sleight of hand him and also get yourself out of this mess. You could totally do that.
All right, I'm doing it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Son of a.
You can't luck push rolls, can you?
I don't think so, Nick.
No.
But that was so close.
What are the odds? I almost said it aloud.
Hold on. Can you spend luck points on post roll spending luck? Hold on. I gotta look this up. Oh, shit, I just downloaded the web page.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Chris.
Yeah.
You did the right thing.
I'm gonna double check that because it's so damn close.
He could have like super valuable information for us. That's the only reason why I'm being selfish and going after this guy.
I mean, realistically, if anyone's being selfish right now, it is Nora keeping Watts distracted. You're good.
Yeah.
You're just like, I have to keep him happy till we get him on the boat.
I think we're playing it well. I think it's natural.
I found here, it says luck points may not be spent to alter the result of a push roll.
Yeah, I thought so.
A push roll you get screwed on, right? If you fail.
Yes. So you try to dodge past this horse, and at the last moment, its back leg bucks out, kicking towards you. It slams into your side, throwing you cartwheeling through the crowd.
Ow.
You take
Poison
4
ribs.
damage as you slam into a bunch of people, knocking them hither and thither, causing a spray of people, bodies that land in various places.
That's ribs damage there, for sure. Based on my health, that's like half of it.
The horse is a secret cultist and now knows what you're up to. Horses are the worst cultists.
Would he have seen
Horses
this
are
happen, or
terrible
would,
people.
So,
would he have seen any of this? Like obviously it happens, but would he have seen it right before it happened?
the guy you're following?
The horse completely like stomping a mud hole in me.
Yeah, basically, you see this horse is like bucking around you, and you like try to squeeze past him, but like you time it just wrong, and you get caught by a hoof coming out and like slamming into your side. And the person you're following disappears into the crowd ahead.
Rip.
All right, Mr. Wright.
Do I see him get kicked by a horse?
You do, because it is very obvious.
I rush over and try to render aid.
So I will say you have a strength or dexterity roll to cut through the crowd, because obviously now the crowd is surging in multiple directions with a bucking horse. You're able to do so successfully, and you push towards Brady, grabbing onto him and bending down to check him over. Do you simply pull him to his feet, or do you stop to try and check more closely?
I don't know anything about medicine. That's treating. First aid. Do I, after a general look, does it seem like it'd be dangerous to move him?
I would just say, like, based on like not even doing a roll at all, he seems dazed, but not overly wounded. Because I don't think 4 damage was half your health. Shouldn't be by a long shot.
I only have 10 hit points.
My
I
hit
was
points
to
are
say what.
I have
What do you
11.
say about long shot there, Mike? Are we like got low health? 13.
I was just saying,
you know,
like, that's not that much in this game.
Yeah, but out of a total of like somewhere between like 12 and 15, like 4 should never be half your health.
That's close.
I suppose okay, sure, it's relatively close. It could have been bad. He could have rolled 6. Yeah.
Just say, Brady, are you all right? That looked really painful.
He's half left now.
Yeah, he's just gonna be like coughing and like gasping for air at this point. I don't think he's gonna really respond. In the term, like within this time, he wouldn't probably use any dialogue. He's just like gasping for air and just immediate pain.
I'll try to help him up and try and block the crowd, like be the person that's getting hit by people as they're pushing forward instead.
All right, yeah, I will say with your dexterity roll already that you're able to have gotten close to him and made a space that people are fortunately not in a complete panic, and you're safe for the moment. You can pull him to his feet and be ready for the next round.
Alrighty.
Mr. Draper.
Sorry, just moving forward.
All right, continuing forward on your way. As you're moving along, a small, scraggly bearded man comes bolting out of the crowd, trying to crash into you. How do you react?
I like see him like break from the crowd and come towards me.
Yep, you do have the opportunity to decide how you try to prevent the situation from causing you to fall down or lose your hold on the box.
I mean, I guess
What ability do you think applies?
I just try to dodge out of the way if I see him like lunging at me or something.
All right, give me. I guess that's just dexterity, unless there's something else.
I mean, there's just the dodge skill. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, you can give me a dodge.
Flat dexterity would better, but dodge makes sense in this scenario.
Oof.
Let's see, how many? That'd be 12. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Do you have 70?
All right, hold on a second. So, give me a contested strength roll. Ah, shit.
Okay.
Equal successes. While he causes you to stumble and does manage to smash into you, you do not lose your hold on the box. The two of you go sprawling upon the ground.
I will try to act casual about it and just be like, "Hey, watch where you're going," and like just try to get up and keep moving.
All right. You manage to get back to your feet and move, and you do manage to move forward, losing sight of him in the crowd. All right, back to Baker and Watts.
No, let me take the lead. Let me take the lead and be the gentleman. And I run ahead and push through the crowd.
As you try to push through the crowd, suddenly in front of you there is a octogenarian woman with a basket full of kittens who is sprawled face down on the ground.
Thomas is the dog man, so he just like pushes the kitten basket wielding lady out of the way. Excuse me, madam.
That's awful, but you make it through.
No, you're cat people. I understand that there might be huge punishment happening here.
It's fine. Nora will try and like at least make sure all the cats are contained in the basket as she like runs past. Be like, sorry, wishing we could help more.
Bloody vermin.
She'll definitely like move around the cats and try and make sure that they are contained.
Give me a. Oh, geez. I don't know.
What?
Wrangle them with your pistol.
Shot. No, move away, madam.
No. Yeah, I feel like that's a dexterity again. That's just a straight dexterity.
Okay. So I mate. That's a main, right?
Okay,
She
so
just like grabs a cat as she's running past and chucks it in the basket.
I will add to the fact that he's not hitting the basket of kittens on purpose. He is trying to move past them, but if he knocks them, he's not bothered by it. So it's not a dodge.
yeet
It's
those
more of a
kittens across the
it's-
crowd.
yeah. It's not intentional. If he hits, he hits. He's not bothered, but he won't try and hit. He's not trying to hit.
Okay, well, so you manage to deftly move past them. Nora manages to quickly pull the woman to her feet
Rebalance.
with the kittens in tow and follow you out of the station. The two of you have now exited onto the street.
And I'm saying that bloody felines. Puppies are the way.
Mr. Brady, you and Mr. Wright are now together. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as Nora is helping the woman to her feet, can she just like deftly move one of the kittens from the basket into her coat?
Sleight of hand.
Yes, come on.
You get bitten by a kitten. It hurts.
She still holds on if she can.
If you do, then the old lady notices you stealing a
Nah, I saved her from getting trampled. What's she gonna
Yeah, but
do?
how
You can
much did
push
she
the
say
roll.
they are? How much did she say the kitties are?
10 cents.
Oi, that's
I
10
saved
cents.
her, man.
Oi, that's 10 cents.
All right, Nora steals a kitten.
I'm adding that to my possessions.
Okay.
One kitten.
Old lady can't really stop you, and you break away into the crowd with your kitten in tow that's biting your hand. It is small and orange.
So this kitten's now going to hate you for the rest of the campaign, but you've got her. Or got them. Or it.
I will feed it and it will be fine. It will love me.
All right, so yes, Wright and Brady, you are in the midst of this crowd, just barely getting back to your feet as Brady has been briefly trampled by a horse.
I guess still coughing, he kind of manages to get out some words of we need to find Roland. And they're just kind of hobbling along and coughing and kind of holding his side in pain.
I'll
If he-
say he went up ahead. I stayed behind to catch up with you.
Yeah, I was man, I don't even know like how much time would have transpired between these the last turn and now.
I mean, it's sort of elastic. Whatever you imagine makes sense. Probably not very long. It's been like 30 seconds or a minute or something at most, considering the situation at hand.
Could I tell whether or not he was heading towards, I guess, my perception of where Roland would be?
Yes, I would say that your assumption is that he would be in that direction.
Son of a bitch.
How badly are you hurt? Can we push forward? Do you need
I would
do you need
say
a doctor?
I'm fine. I can worry about it later. At this point, I think we need to worry about Roland. The man I was following is moving towards Roland. He's just gonna. We need to get to Roland. So if you have to push forward in front of me, then by all means do so.
Let's go.
All right. Whoever's leading the way, give me a strength or a dexterity. Or yeah, strength or dexterity.
Your strength is much better, but it makes more sense that I'm not hurt to lead.
Oh.
You only make it this sort of half a distance through the wave of the crowd, not be able to move yourselves any faster forward. And we cut over to Roland.
That's right as I take a drink of water. Do I see that guy again? The guy who
Give me a spot hidden.
tackled me? No.
Nope.
I'll spend 2 luck points on that.
And then, yes, you do. You see this scraggly fellow cutting behind you in the crowd over to the left-hand side, clearly focusing in on you.
Okay. Then I will, while still moving forward, try to put as many people between us and between the two of us.
Then give me, I guess, probably like a dodge or a dexterity if you're trying to really specifically weave in between people. Alternatively, if you were trying to knock somebody into his way, then I would say that would be nice.
I'm not trying to knock somebody yet, but at this point, just trying to put as much as many people so he doesn't have a straight shot at me.
Yeah.
But what about of the kittens?
He hasn't gotten to the kittens yet.
Okay.
We all end up with
Excellent.
kittens.
You actually hold on. That's kind of a contestable. Let me see how he does. You manage to weave in and out of the crowd with the box in tow, making your way towards the exit. It's just ahead of you, and you lose sight of him in the crowd behind you, despite the difficulty of carrying this large box. You see you walking along
He's got long arms. He can handle it.
Yeah. All right, Watson Baker, you find yourself outside upon the steps of Penn Station. Things are much calmer out here. There's a taxi cab stand if you want to hail a ride.
Just jump into a taxi, not even hailing.
Yes.
Dragging her into the first one.
I will note the subway in New York opened in 1904.
Doesn't matter. Taxi, straight up, boom. Nora's
Taxi will be
paying.
faster, I think. Yeah, we'll jump in a taxi. The three of us with my kitty marmalade and my chomping on my hand as we go.
You seem to have one of those vermin on your hand there, Nora.
This is no vermin. This is marmalade. You will be nice to him.
Well, him. Okay, I was gonna say bring Lady Marmalade along, but I guess it's him.
She holds it up and you're like, look, penis.
Well, it's been quick. I don't even know if she's identified the gender yet. But
I mean, it's I don't know, 80% of orange cats are males.
Yeah, but she may not know that. Either way,
Thomas
she's
has no
fishing
idea.
around
He's a dog
for
person. Yeah.
some kind of, I don't know, snacks or something to feed it.
I pulled that number out of my ass and I was 100% right on. If you Google orange cat male percentage, it goes 80%.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Is it an orange cat you picked up?
Yeah, I did say it was an orange cat.
All right. So anyway, Thomas, without any regard to anybody, pulls open the door. The first cab that he sees, and just hops. Attempts to hop into that cab, regardless if there's a person in it or not. At the back, he's too intrigued of Barney's and wants to go. So he's
All right.
Sir Barney's, post haste as he's opening the door.
There is a very fancy woman with a extremely large hat who is sitting in there, who is absolutely shocked and says, "Excuse me, sir, this is my handsome."
I'm afraid it's a global emergency. Nora just kind of leans across, like opens the door on the other side and tries to push her out.
All right,
you want to come to Barney's? I'm going to say to her, you heard of Barney's?
She's like, "Barney's? Oh!"
The best fine wear, discounted, that there is around. But I do love your hat.
I don't know why. Oh, you got edit mode on. Basically, this old lady with very poor strength against Nora's 75 with extreme success is thrown
now
bodily
coming to
through the
Barney's with
damage.
us.
She is, as the children would say, yeeted out upon the street.
Oh, she was yeeted out? Like she's not now coming to Barney's with us because she had no choice.
Nora just pushes her out the other side of the cab.
Oh.
Sorry, and closes the door.
You look on shocked as this woman with a mink coat worth surely tens of dollars is sent sprawling upon the dirty New York streets. And the man in the cab simply shrugs his shoulders and whips the horses up to get them to start moving.
Well, she was no cat-looking lady there, Nora. What the?
Nora and Watts may be a menace all on their own, but that's fine. We're having fun.
Nora pulls out his flask from the inside of his jacket and holds up a cheers to Nora.
Yeah.
All right, we're I guess going back to the back of the line, and we'll go back to Wright and Brady.
Making our way.
All right, are you trying to go faster than the crowd, or simply moving with the crowd at this point?
We're trying to catch up with Roland. So
Well, to make a faster travel through the crowd, I'll say I'll allow you to move 2 spaces since you're not carrying stuff. You'll have to give me a strength or a dexterity.
Unless you can come up for a reason, your injured guy would be taking the league. I'm gonna keep slapping dexterity.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to.
Damn.
With a failure, you move one level up.
At this point, I can see the guy, or is he still obscured by other people?
You can give me a spot hidden. You do not see him through the crowd. There's a lot going on. Mr. Draper, assuming that you are continuing to move forward, you are approaching the exit of the train station, but the press of the crowd has grown choking, and there is a absolute chock-a-block of people in front of you trying to squeeze through the exit. If you want to get through, you'll have to either find a different way around or manage to force your way through somehow.
Yeah, I'd look for another way, another exit.
I guess give me a spot hidden. Looking to the side, you notice that there there is a light shining out from the street through the back gate that is behind one of the counters where the ticket agents stay. You would be able to potentially push your way through there.
Sorry, what did you say the light was?
There's a light from the street that's shining out through the back passage that's through an exit behind the ticket stands. So basically, there's a ticket stand there where like train tickets are being sold, but you'll either have to get past quickly without being questioned, or convince them to get that you should be allowed through.
I would first just try to like bolt straight by him.
Well, then give me. I don't know. There isn't like a speed running skill. I think that's probably just dexterity. Maybe Constitution. No.
Same for me either way. About 60.
Well, yeah. All right. Then do one or the other.
I'll just roll dex.
As you approach, trying to go get behind the counter, one of the ticket agents stands out and says, "Sir, this is a private area."
Trying to think. I'll just say, my apologies. The crowd over there is just so bad. I just need to just walk right through, and I'll be out of your hair. Promise, just trying to leave. And I'm like, as I'm saying this, I'm like trying to get around.
I guess give me a persuade roll. It's like straight persuasion, not like fast talking or anything. Yeah, all right. I guess he looks over and sees you struggling with this large case and says I wouldn't want to be stuck in that crowd with such a big case either. Let me show you. Let me show you the way to the back. I can't let you walk around in the back area, but I'll let you out the rear door.
Thank
and
you.
he takes you through and ushers you out the back.
I'll give him like a $1 tip.
He tips his hat to you. That's a handsome tip. All right, Brady and Wright.
Still trying to catch up.
All right, same thing again.
Son of a gun. My 50-50 coin flips for the night are not going well for me.
You continue to make your way straight forward. And you are now nearing the exit. One sec.
Can I try spotting the person again?
Yeah, absolutely. You see this small, scraggly man. Well, one second. He barrels his way past the side gate behind the ticket stands and knocks aside another attendant before sprinting down the hallway. And with that, we're back to Mr. Draper because Wright and Baker are already on the cab on their way out.
Sorry, before you do that, but like, how likely are we to get to Barney's is now part of the scenario.
This evening?
Yeah,
I don't know.
we're on our way.
We'll probably wrap it up on at the end of this chase.
Okay, I was wondering how lucky we were through traffic.
Oh,
People going through the traffic.
I'll have to decide where in New York it is, I suppose.
Okay.
You can roll me a luck.
We can wait till next week, and you can tell us.
All right.
Trying to think. I think Roland. trying to decide. He said, okay, he said they'd meet at the hotel. So he's gonna, like, try to cross the street and, like, go, like, a block or two down before catching a cab. To try to lose the person chasing him.
Give me, I guess. There is a taxi stand there. You could just go straight for a taxi and just try and get out of there. But he's not too far behind you. If you want to like straight up lose him, you could give me like a stealth roll.
Yeah, I would be trying to lose him by not going to the taxi stand that's right there.
Yeah, then give me like a stealth roll.
Okay. Pretty
I believe
okay.
there's a stealth
Stealth.
skill, something like that. Yeah, there you go. And let me see what he gets. Maybe we can test that with a spot hidden. You get out the door and then decide to weave your way across the street and then duck down a alley on the far side rather than going straight for the taxi stand. You manage to do so, and you look back over your shoulder and see the scraggly bearded fellow looking left and right and clearly have lost sight of you.
If this alley like connects to like a street on the other side, I just once I realize he's lost me, I'll just keep going and then hail a taxi to go to.
All right, you are certainly able to do so. There's not as many taxis, but it won't take long for you to find one. There's still pretty busy, lots of taxis in the city this time of day.
And then just tell him to go to the hotel we decided on previously.
Alrighty. Brady and Wright, do you follow the two men down the side passage? And if so, how do you do so?
I would let Mr. Wright know that the man that I was following before is ahead of us, and if you think we can get close enough to let me try and do my thing, or we can just head to Roland.
So do we catch Roland? Do we see him leaving in a taxi?
He went all the way across to the up across the street into the next block, so you would have lost him. Basically, you saw the like guys tailing him go down the side exit through behind the ticket stands.
I guess if we didn't know that he left.
So they're just in a side alley by themselves right now?
So you're at the train station. You saw them in the train station run down like a back exit that's behind the ticket stand, and you don't know what they've done once they've gotten out yet. And you don't actually know that Roland went that direction either. You were simply tailing them. You don't know that they got close to Roland.
Right. But there's not really a way to make it look inconspicuous if there's only two in an alley and we accidentally bump into them.
No, at this point they they went down like a small side exit and have raised a bit of a commotion with some of the staff by like forcing them over.
And we don't know that Roland left either.
No. So you may assume that you just need to go through like the main exit that's just got oppressive people in it.
With them more isolated by themselves, do we get a good look at them at this point?
No, they essentially basically it's like interestingly, the person who assaulted Roland is the scraggly guy. You were following the like more handsome Mediterranean dude, and so essentially these two are unconnected. Roland saw the one guy, you saw the other guy. But those two guys went the same direction, so you didn't really have a great opportunity to particularly see much more. Basically, they were ahead of you already, and you managed to Brady specifically managed to just catch sight of the one guy as he like bolted through down this back exit out of the train station.
For my own benefit, we did get a good look at the guy that bumped into him earlier, like on the train, though.
Yes, he was. Well, Nora saw him on the train and thought he looked suspicious. So you have not confirmed. So you have not had an opportunity, particularly, to talk too much to each other about
The guy that bumped into Roland? I thought we pointed him out and
that.
then.
No, sorry. The guy that bumped into Roland is the Mediterranean guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Scraggly guy was just suspicious dude on the train.
Okay, gotcha. That clears that up. Seeing them break off, I think we just need to meet up with Roland at this point.
Do we assume? I guess at that point, do we assume that he had already left at that point, even though we didn't see him?
These guys
Basically,
are
yeah, you
breaking
can't
off.
see him now. It would be pretty safe to assume that that he has left or is somewhere ahead.
Okay. And I guess I'll just ask Mr. I'll ask Wright if he thinks that is it safe to assume that he left already and, like you said, went to the.
I don't think he went down on a detour through these.
Yeah,
these
Roland kind of
alleyways.
made it clear he was heading straight to the hotel.
Okay.
To
All right, then I guess
when they split.
They must have lost him.
Okay.
Or they must have given up.
Well, I guess we're heading to the hotel. Just coughing still and like in pain.
Are you sure? You don't want to. You really should get that looked at. I think with the exit in sight, general ease, thinking Roland probably got away. Can I have a look at it at this point? Quick assessment.
Sure. If you want to do that in this
questions.
crowd of first aid before moving on.
There's my rolls.
What does that entail? Extreme success. 60.
Didn't think I'd be using first aid this early in the campaign, but that's okay.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. You're gonna get hurt.
You miss
Broken
all the
ribs.
shots you miss 100% of the shots you don't
Wait.
take. So
Where did the horse hit you?
I guess in the side and the ribs, like just center
You
mass.
sure? Not the leg, the knee, the groin area, shoulder.
I guess I would leave. Mike would have to.
How many hit
I
points did you
think you
have?
get
How many
one
points
hit
did you
point back.
lose?
In the back.
No, you get 1 hit point back, is what he said.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I think you could decide like how many points you have, how many points did you lose, what makes sense with how much you lost, where it hit you, and then what you gain back with the 1 first aid that you got back. Your music died, by the way, Mike.
Yeah, I mean it's probably appropriate though. We're just about out of the place. Yeah, basically first aid skill. A successful first aid skill grants 1 hit point, and it can also like save a dying character and a bunch of other things. But like that's obviously not good.
I'm helping.
Extreme though, does he get 2 hit points with an extreme? Could you argue that or not?
No, just 1.
Oh. I tried, Chris.
Yeah. Yes, to be effective, first aid must be delivered within 1 hour, in which case it grants 1 hit point recovery. It may be attempted once, with the subsequent attempts constituting a pushed roll. 2 people can work together to administer first aid, with success granted if either one rolls a success. An exception is allowed when treating a dying character, wherein the best that can be achieved within the first aid is temporarily stabilize the patient. So yes, you get 1 hit point back.
Okay.
I'll say, looks like you could have a bruised rib. You're gonna want to take it easy. Thankfully, we'll be on this ship soon, but we have a day to recover.
Yeah, hopefully the hotel has some ice or something I can get to put on it to help me through the night.
Let's get a taxi.
All right, you as the crowd's starting to dissipate after you've taken a moment to administer first aid, you're able to exit onto the street. The taxi stands are thinning out with all of the people who have left, but there is lots of taxis in there for this time period, so you certainly have no issue flagging them down. I think with that, we'll call it a night. That's a good place to call it. It was a exciting chase on the way out there. You've had some glimpse of some of your adversaries who are interested in what it is that you carry. Each of you is on your way successfully having left, and only one of you somewhat badly bruised from the experience.
And Nora has a kitty.
Two of you badly bruised from the experience.
Nora is
Almost
bitten.
has
That's
no
different.
idea what happened.
Everything according to plan.